When Z and I first started our circumnavigation aboard Aquarius over 3.5 years ago, we were to say the least a bit nervous on our anchor. Both Z and I worried about dragging our anchor. There are many stories about boats ending up on the reef late at night, and it does happen. But now, after a lot of time on our anchor, we feel quite safe dangling from our chain, and even feel safe leaving Aquarius for a few days on anchor while doing some land-based activities. If your plan is to stay up all night waiting for something to happen and never trust your ground tackle enough to leave your boat for a few days, you will never be able to enjoy the cruising lifestyle. Inspect your ground tackle often and trust your judgment. This video is about the anchor watch we use, some of the features to look for in an anchor watch, and why we like the app Anchor Pro. In order to have days like this, you're going to have days like this. This is Tips on Tuesday. We're going to talk about what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. Stay tuned so you don't feel like doing this. If you like these videos, please subscribe and give us a like. And if you have anything to add to the conversation or any questions, please leave them below. Now, this is not a paid endorsement of a product. I bought the app myself, and the only communication I had with Anchor Pro was an ill-directed complaint, only to find out it was user error. I read many reviews, researched the available apps, and used several Anchor Watch applications, and so far, Anchor Pro is the best I found. It has been the most stable, and it has two features that I absolutely love.
Hear the bells ring as the tide ring sings. It's the son of a gun of a chorus.
The first feature I love. Anchor Pro will send me an email if Aquarius leaves the current anchor zone. This email will include bearing and distance from anchor, current location, and a hyperlink so I can quickly view the location on Google Maps. Just because the alarm goes off and I get an email does not mean Aquarius is in danger. With a quick glance at the information, I can determine whether I need to head back to Aquarius, call for assistance, or continue with my activities. All emails include the current battery level of my pad on Aquarius, and Anchor Watch will also send me an email if the pad's battery level drops below 10%. I leave the pad charging off Aquarius's electrical system, and if the pad's battery is less than 100%, the pad is not charging, and thus would imply something is either wrong with Aquarius's electrical system or something is wrong with the pad, but in either case, I should return to Aquarius. The second feature I love is when Anchor Pro is connected to the Telegram application. I can request the current status from anywhere. The Anchor Pro application will send me the location of Aquarius, bearing and distance from anchor, the pad's battery level, and a hyperlink to view the location of Aquarius quickly and easily on Google Maps. This is cool. Now, in order to use these features, I have a Samsung pad with the capability of using a SIM card. This can also be done with an extra smartphone. I purchase and activate two SIM cards, one for my phone, which remains with me, and one for the device, pad, or smartphone to be left on Aquarius. I buy a plan with a lot of data, unlimited usually, for the phone I carry, but I don't need much data for the device I leave on Aquarius. It will only communicate if Aquarius leaves the set anchorage area, the battery has been depleted below 10%, or I request an update. When on anchor or attached to a mooring, my pad running Anchor Pro is always on and showing a view of Aquarius's location within the anchor zone. At any time, I can look over at the screen and see where Aquarius is in relation to her anchor. I always sleep within a meter of my pad, with the anchor alarm turned at full volume. Yes, there have been several nights I was awakened by the alarm when a gust of wind or a change in tide pushed Aquarius a meter out of the anchor zone. But in those cases, I simply increased the anchor distance and returned to sleep. As captain, I request everybody on board download an Anchor Watch application and set it up while we are at anchor or on mooring. It's better that everyone has an alarm set at night and during the day. If something were to happen, we would need all hands on deck. As a cruiser, on anchor is the best place to be. Marinas have a lot to offer: easy access to restaurants, markets, and friends, and a good place to catch up on some much-needed maintenance. But they are usually expensive. Now it's time for Aquarius to leave the marina. And I'll sleep well, knowing Aquarius's Anchor Watch will inform me if something goes wrong, whether I'm on Aquarius or not. That's where Aquarius is, and this is the circle that it can stay in. If it goes out of that area, the alarm will go off. If the battery runs low, an alarm will go off. But the great thing about this is I can actually get status from this anytime I want from my other phone. Let me show you. And it looks like my anchor alarm just went off. My new assistant is here. Hello there, assistant. How are you today? Enough of the assistant. We need to talk about anchor watches. And with that, we're just going to flip the switch. We're over next to the pool. I think it's best to be off the boat when we're talking about the anchor watch because it's going to be a lot easier to display some of the capabilities. So anyways, we use Anchor Pro. I tried Anchor Lite first. That worked pretty good, so I bought Anchor Pro. So as you can see right now, we are over next to the pool, and it's just about right. We are right next to the pool. And so what I'm going to do is set my anchor to the current location. And right now I'm set at 10 meters. So when I get up and I walk around, we're gonna make the anchor alarm go off. So watch this. And we're gonna take my phone with me too because it's going to do some things. So we're just gonna take a little walk. Are you gonna come with me, assistant? Oh, I got two assistants now. All right. We're getting to this end of our anchor. Now the anchor alarm has gone off. You can hear it. And I got a message on my phone. Let's see what the message on the phone looks like. So, an alarm has been triggered, and it tells you the distance from your anchor spot, which is 12.3 meters. So I had it set at 10 meters. You can see that we're off our mark. It gives you the bearing and the current location. Now, the phone can be anywhere. This is what I leave on the boat right here. But my phone is always with me, and then I can go view current location, and it'll pull up the map, and I can see exactly where my boat is. And if I want to see, well, I don't want to see that. What I want to see is I want to see a satellite view of where my boat is. So you can see I'm at the end of the swimming pool. I'm at the end of the swimming pool. So on my phone, if the anchor alarm goes off, I get a message, and it's going to show me where my boat is, which is really nice. The other thing you get off the message on Telegram is you get the current battery. My pad has not been charging lately, but if I was to leave my boat, what I do is I leave it plugged in all the time. And so if this isn't 100%, that means something went down on my electrical system. So one, this will tell me what's going on right now. Let's stop the anchor alarm. So it'll tell me what's going on. If my boat moves too far, it'll tell me where the boat is, and from that I can tell whether the boat's in danger or not. If it's only 3 feet out, maybe I dragged a little bit, but I'm still okay. But if it's 50 meters out and still moving, which I can just go get status again. So if I get status again, it'll tell me the current location.
If you like this video, give us a like down below and click here to subscribe. That really helps us. And if you want to watch more of us, click one of those.
They said they came from Spanish.